Perhaps that was why they could not find me a rich husband. I told you this dowry system is something else, right? So, as this is marked as important paragraph number 2, I will tell you again about the identification of the context. Postcolonial novel Nectar and Sieve. The writer is an Indian novelist. You can mention that as well if you can remember her birthday 1924 to 2004, and her name is Kamala Markandaya. The plot is actually this is a flashback of the protagonist about her marriage, right? And we will discuss the themes, literary devices, and the other facts connected with each line separately. Okay. And also the character brought down, how the characters are developed in this context, right? Yes. Perhaps that was why they could not find me a rich husband. That is about, of course, about child marriage, right? So, and relationships, bond, marriage. And other than that, it's about economic condition, poverty, and the theme dowry is the main theme, right? Rich husband, which is the ultimate fantasy of each and every girl in the Indian society at that time, and married me to a tenant farmer. Okay, tenant farmer, again, it's a symbol which symbolizes the feudal system, right? And when we talk about the collector, it represents the British colonial administration, and the zamindar system is represented by the okay, it will be mentioned later with this tenant farmer thing, right? So tenant farmer is the symbol of, sorry, the symbol of zamindar system, which made the traditional leaders also her traditional leaders like her father figureheads. And here comes the people who work under those, right? Tenant farmer. Okay. So as I told you, the feudal system, tenant in the sense they do farming in a land where they don't have the ownership. That is what tenant called. This comes with the zamindari system, as I told to you. Okay. Now here this part defines Nathan's wealth condition, economic condition, right? His class consciousness also highlighted as a special theme because this contrast with the rich husband and the phrase tenant farmer, right? The class consciousness and how well they consider about the classes, everything is also mentioned here. Who was poor in everything but in love and care for me. Uh, his wife whom he took at the age of 12. So this is really important, okay? So here Nathan defines, Rukmani defines that Nathan's wealth as emotional thing and not material. Right? What she says is he's materially poor, but emotionally he is a rich husband. The phrase took at the age of 12. Okay, before that, let's talk about that poor in everything but in love and care for me again. What does that define? It defines about Nathan's character. It seems that he is a lovely, careful, protective husband who is not the who contrasts with the typical portrait of a husband in uh, village, right? Indian society, right? So it seems that even after his death, Rukmani, old Rukmani, the narrator, is still satisfied and contented with the bond, the relationship, right? That's why she feels that emotional bond, the spiritual connection, uh, even after his death. Because for her, the materialistic prosperity is nothing, but the emotional prosperity within Nathan was really made her satisfied than anything else, right? So Even though Nathan is a symbol of lower class, poor, poverty, as feudal system, those are also there, but I'm talking about the bond, right? That is about the love, the theme of love, spiritual contentment versus materialistic contentment, and also female dependence you can take, right? And there's another theme, acceptance of fate positively. Positivity in Rukmani's character also highlighted because she is still a child at the age of 12. This is about child marriage, the victimization of children due to social conventions, right? She is immature at the age of 12. Her childhood was sacrificed for marriage, right? She had to fulfill the duties as a wife, right? It's mentioned here later on. However, now this is about gender discrimination, female dependence, right? Social norms, conventions, child marriage. This part is really important and really effective if you got it. You should be happy if you got this part, right? You can say many things, okay? Right. Theme of exploitation as well highlighted here, even labor exploitation and also child exploitation, right? I'm talking about both, right? And our relatives I know murmured that the match was below me. My mother herself was not happy, but I was without beauty and without dowry, and it was the best she could do. A poor match, they said, and not always quietly, how little they knew any of them. Now, here, this part is also really important. See how she positively accepted her fate and valued the spirituality, the emotional bond in spite of believing on material possessions, right? Now, okay, now here she talks about I was without beauty and without dowry. It's about poverty, right? Materially and also beauty. And the repetition of the word without highlights uh, the change, poverty, right? And also you can add how little they knew any of them. See the exclamation mark. She is happy in her marriage. The usage of punctuation marks highlights the agitation, surprise, and also the mocking, sarcastic tone towards other opinions, right? Because she herself is satisfied with the present circumstances, right? She is happy with Nathan. That's what she meant, okay? So, this part is really important. Rukmani, in that case, she is a mature person comparatively, right? She has a mature perspective even as a child, right? All right. And because I am saying it because rarely we can hear something like this from an Indian woman, because there's then gender discrimination. Most of the cases they don't receive love, they criticize us their marriage, especially the child marriage, right? Dishonor them. But here Rukmani speaks in a much positive point of view, right? So I told you about the themes, and you can add flashback, first person narration, usage of simple language, punctuation mark usage, right? Everything is included in this small paragraph, right? Okay, so that's the end of uh, that paragraph. It's really effective paragraph. You can ask more questions about the effects. It's okay, feel free to ask questions. The comment box is open for you.